Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about something that might be sabotaging your entire fat loss journey, and you probably don't even realize it. I'm talking about your bathroom scale. Yes, that little device that you step on every single morning, sometimes multiple times a day, thinking it's helping you track your progress. But here's the truth. Your scale might be the number one reason you're not succeeding with your fat loss goals. Now, before we dive deep into this, I want you to understand something fundamental about how weight works. When you step on that scale, it gives you one number, just one single number. That number represents so many different things in your body. It includes your bones, your muscles, your fat tissue, your organs, the water in your body, the food that's currently being digested in your system, and yes, even the waste that hasn't been eliminated yet. So when you see 70 kilograms on that scale, you have absolutely no idea how much of that is actually fat versus how much is muscle, water, or anything else. And this is where the problem begins. I've been working with patients for many years now, and I've seen thousands of people doing everything right. They're fasting properly, eating low carb, consuming healthy fats, getting good sleep, but because the scale isn't moving the way they expect, they get completely discouraged and quit. And this is an absolute tragedy because they were actually making incredible progress that the scale simply wasn't showing them. So let me break down for you the 11 reasons why your scale is stopping your fat loss and, more importantly, what you should be doing instead. The first reason is water weight fluctuation. Your body is approximately 60 to 70% water, and this water is constantly fluctuating throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month. If you ate a little extra salt last night, you could easily be holding on to 2 to 3 kilograms of extra water the next morning. For women, during their menstrual cycle, water retention can add 3 to 5 kilograms that has absolutely nothing to do with fat gain. If you had some carbohydrates, and remember, every single gram of carbohydrate stores with it 3 to 4 grams of water, you could see a massive jump on the scale that's purely water, not fat. I had one patient who ate a salty pizza one evening, and the next morning, she was 2.5 kilograms heavier. She was devastated, thinking she had ruined all her progress, but I explained to her this was just water retention. 3 days later, her weight was back to normal. This is why daily weighing is essentially psychological torture. Your weight can swing up and down 2 to 3 kilograms in a single day just from body water fluctuations. The second reason, and this is huge, is that you're building muscle while losing fat. When you're eating properly, getting good protein, healthy fats, and especially if you're doing any kind of resistance training or even just walking regularly, your body is building lean muscle tissue. Now, here's what most people don't understand. Muscle is denser than fat. This means that if you lose 1 kilogram of fat and gain 1 kilogram of muscle, the scale won't move at all. Zero change, but your body composition has dramatically improved. You'll look leaner, your clothes will fit better, you'll be stronger, you'll have more energy, but that scale will show you the exact same number. And this is where people get completely discouraged. I had a gentleman who lost only 3 kilograms on the scale over 6 months. He was frustrated. But when we did proper body composition testing, we discovered he had lost 12 kilograms of fat and gained 9 kilograms of muscle. His body was completely transformed, but he was ready to quit because he was obsessed with that scale number. Building muscle is incredibly important because muscle increases your metabolic rate. More muscle means you burn more calories even at rest. It's an investment in your future health and fat loss. The third reason is stress hormones, specifically cortisol. When you step on that scale every morning and you stress about the number, when you get anxious because it didn't go down or worse, it went up, your body releases cortisol. And what does cortisol do? It promotes fat storage, especially around your belly. So you've created this terrible cycle. You check the scale, you stress about it, cortisol goes up, fat storage increases, weight loss stalls, and then you stress even more. I've seen many people whose weight loss journey actually began when they stopped checking the scale and relaxed. Cortisol doesn't just affect weight, it also increases insulin resistance, which means your body becomes resistant to insulin and stops burning fat efficiently. This is especially problematic for people who already have insulin resistance or prediabetes. And look, stress doesn't just come from the scale. If you're not sleeping well, if you're overworking, if you have financial problems, all of these raise cortisol. But scale stress is an unnecessary stress that you're adding to your life voluntarily. The fourth reason is that the scale simply doesn't measure body composition. I touched on this earlier, but it's so important that I need to elaborate. Two people can weigh exactly the same. Let's say both are 75 kilograms, but one person has 30% body fat and the other has 15% body fat. The first person will look soft, flabby, and unhealthy. The second person will look muscular, lean, and fit. But the scale tells them they weigh the same. Body composition includes your body fat percentage, your muscle mass, your bone density, and critically, your visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that wraps around your organs like your liver, pancreas, and intestines. This is the most dangerous fat in your body. It's invisible from the outside. You can't see it, but it's the fat that causes inflammation, insulin resistance, increases your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and even cancer. When you do intermittent fasting and eat low carb properly, the first fat that burns is this visceral fat. So you're getting incredible health benefits. You're literally reversing disease processes, but your scale isn't showing this at all. The fifth reason is metabolic adaptation. As you lose weight, your metabolism does slow down slightly. This is completely normal and natural. Your body is lighter, so it requires fewer calories to maintain itself. But many people misunderstand this natural process and think their metabolism is damaged. They panic, and this panic is amplified when they're constantly checking the scale. Here's the thing. If you're losing fat the right way, with proper fasting, nutrient-dense foods, and maintaining muscle mass, your metabolic rate doesn't drop significantly. The muscle mass you're maintaining is what keeps your metabolism strong. But if you're doing crash diets, severely restricting calories without proper nutrition, then yes, your metabolism will suffer. And ironically, it's these crash dieters who are most obsessed with the scale. The sixth reason involves glycogen depletion and refilling. When you start a low-carb or ketogenic diet, in the first week you might lose 3 to 4 kilograms very rapidly. People get excited, but most of this initial loss is glycogen and the water stored with it. Glycogen is stored carbohydrate in your muscles and liver, and each gram of glycogen holds 3 to 4 grams of water. Once these stores are depleted, actual fat burning begins. But now the weight loss slows down significantly, maybe half a kilogram per week. People think it's not working anymore and quit. Or if you have a meal with more carbohydrates one day, the glycogen stores refill and 2 kilograms come back overnight. But this isn't fat. It's just stored glycogen and water. This yo-yo effect on the scale is purely because of water and glycogen fluctuations, yet people make major decisions about their diet based on these meaningless numbers. The seventh reason is the effect of sleep deprivation on water retention. Poor sleep disrupts your hormones. Growth hormone decreases, cortisol increases, inflammation goes up. All of this can cause water retention. If you have one bad night of sleep, you could be 1 to 1.5 kilograms heavier the next morning just from inflammation and water retention. But if you see this on the scale and stress about it, you'll sleep even worse, cortisol will go higher, and the cycle continues. Sleep deprivation also decreases leptin, your satiety hormone, and increases ghrelin, your hunger hormone. It worsens insulin sensitivity and slows down fat oxidation. But the scale doesn't show any of this. The scale just shows your inflamed, water-retained weight the next morning, which demotivates you further. Good quality sleep is one of the most important pillars of fat loss. If you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep, no diet will work optimally. But the scale doesn't reflect this truth. The eighth reason applies specifically to women, the menstrual cycle. Ladies, this is a major factor that's often completely ignored. During different phases of your menstrual cycle, hormone levels change dramatically. Before ovulation and during your period, fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone can cause 2 to 3 kilograms of water retention, bloating, and temporary weight gain. If a woman checks her scale during this time and sees the number go up, it's completely unfair to herself. This is a biological process you cannot control. I've seen many women who see weight gain during their period week and quit their entire diet. But if they had just waited 2 weeks, the weight would have come back down and their actual fat loss would have been visible. Hormonal fluctuations also affect appetite. You get more hungry before your period. Cravings increase, especially for sweets. Energy levels change and workout performance varies. So for a woman, daily weighing is absolutely meaningless. She needs to look at the full month to see true progress. The ninth reason is inflammation from exercise. When you exercise, especially weight training or intense cardio, you create micro tears in your muscles. This is completely normal and actually necessary for muscles to grow. But these microtears cause inflammation, and water rushes to the muscles to help with repair. This means for 1 to 2 days after a workout, your weight can actually go up. Many people think they worked so hard and the weight went up, so they get discouraged. But this is actually a good sign that your muscles are repairing and growing. This inflammation is temporary. It settles down in 2 to 3 days. But if you're checking the scale daily, you'll interpret this normal fluctuation as a problem. Exercise has so many benefits the scale doesn't show: increased bone density, improved cardiovascular health, better insulin sensitivity, improved mood, higher energy levels, better quality of life. But if you only focus on the scale, you'll ignore all these amazing benefits. The 10th reason involves gut health and digestive content. At any given time, you have 2 to 4 kilograms of food and waste in your digestive system that's being processed. This weight shows up on the scale, but it's not part of your body composition. If you're constipated, more waste is stored and the weight shows higher. If you just ate a large meal, that will temporarily increase your weight until it's digested. This is especially confusing for people doing intermittent fasting. They break their fast, eat a proper meal, and the next morning the scale is up. They think fasting isn't working, but they're just seeing the weight of food in their digestive system. Gut health is incredibly important for fat loss. Gut bacteria affect metabolism. Poor gut health increases inflammation. Constipation keeps toxins in the body, and a healthy gut allows better nutrient absorption. But the scale doesn't tell you if your gut health is improving. If you're eating fiber-rich vegetables and fermented foods, your gut health is improving regardless of what the scale says.